Hi, Thomas. Thomas, you're muted, Thomas.
Yes, good morning. Okay, I'm trying to, okay, we're live already. I pressed the button too early. Okay, but let's behave and see who we want to let in here.
How are you, Thomas?
Let me make you a co-host. Then you can see on the right side who's in the room waiting, and then you can let me know or let them in if there's anyone you want to talk up front.
Okay.
If you look on the right side, let me let Araid in. That's the guy from Saudi, just to introduce you. But we shouldn't really talk much. We're really.
Yes, Raed Habis from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Donald,
Hello, Raed.
you want to let him in?
I think Timothy Marshall just came in.
Okay, so let him in. Good morning, Raed.
Greetings.
Good morning.
Hi, Jürgen.
Hey,
Trying to
Don.
start my video.
Okay, Raed said
Hi.
he's to let him in, but he is in, so I don't know why he's not seeing us, but what can we do? Okay. So, Louis, if you see anyone on the right side you want to let in, feel free to do so.
I don't see anyone on the right, Thomas. I
So
just,
you click on the bottom, you click on participants. The link participants.
oh, click on participants.
Yeah, then on the right side, a window pops up, usually depending on your computer screen, and you see all the people in the waiting room.
Okay, there's already 19 people signed in.
Yeah, no.
Okay, yes, I see on the right,
Yeah,
waiting room,
waiting room.
15.
If you want to let anyone in, let me know or click on admit. That's only we're not officially here yet, so they're going to be waiting.
Okay, Gail Parsonage should be let in.
Let her in. Okay, she's coming in.
Hey, Lou, can you hear me?
I can, Brother Tim. Yes, how are you?
Good. Can you see me?
No.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm having video issues too. I'm getting an error message when I try to start my video.
Yeah, I see your name, Tim, and
Yeah,
I see Gail Parsonage is now with us.
I signed
Oh,
in
Assalamu
early.
alaikum. Good morning, Mr. Girl, Mr. Jürgen, everybody. And I wish you have a very successful meeting from your Saudi Arabia. This is Raed Habis, and I'm done. Thank you.
Hi, Raed. We can talk separately with Louis. Also, we're already live now, so and we're ready to go. But we can talk. I'll call you after the event.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Raed.
I'm going to sign out and come back on.
Okay, Brother Tim.
Okay, so we're live now everywhere.
Hello, Jürgen. Hello, Lou.
Hello, Gail. Good to be with you.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us in the middle of the night.
I've been trying to stay awake.
Where are you? In Australia, right?
In Australia, it's 3:30 a.m.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to be on an Australian event at 3 a.m. my time on Sunday night, Monday morning. So I know how you feel.
I think I'm 20 again and just going out or coming home, one of the two.
Nowhere to go in Australia, I heard, right?
What was that?
You have nowhere to go in Australia these days.
I know. We're in lockdown, complete lockdown. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Hello, Brother Tim. We see you now.
All righty. Good. All righty.
So I'm sorry, I'm trying to finish my breakfast bite here before we start. And Louis, so I'm just going to introduce you and then I give it to Lou and you can give it to whoever. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Good morning, everybody on eTurboNews and livestream.travel or wherever else you might join us right now. You're live. We haven't started our event yet. It's about a family meeting for the International Institute for Peace Through Tourism. And you still have a chance to be part of our live audience. Simply go to worldtourismevents.com, worldtourismevents.com, and you can actually sign up and join our audience live. Otherwise, you can stay tuned and listen to us during our little pre-chat here before we officially going to start in about 5 minutes from now. Thank you.
Lou, could we just do another audio check could you just speak so I can hear from my end?
Yes.
Please.
Can you hear me all right, Gail? It's
I don't know, Jürgen, can it go up a little bit on your console?
I can hear you
Jürgen?
loud and clear, so I don't know.
Can you, and your speakerphone, can it go up a bit, or your audio output?
Oh, that's not me. That's on your computer.
It's on mine. I've got it up full volume.
Yeah, that's
We're a long
not-
way away. Maybe that's the point.
I cannot control this, unfortunately.
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
I hear you well, Gail.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, Louis. How are you?
I'm great, Peter. Glad you could join us. How are you?
It's good to see you.
Good to see you again. You're looking well.
Donald King, you want to let him in?
You're surviving all the political.
Lou, now you're
turmoil in
muted.
Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, you're back. You're back. Sorry, my mistake now.
I can't complain. I put a nice, I thought because it's peace, I put nice flowers behind me.
Yeah, looks beautiful. Very peaceful.
It's the state flower of Texas, the bluebonnet.
Ah, nice.
Yes, good morning, everybody joining us on eTurboNews, livestream.travel. We're about to start a family meeting with the International Institute for Peace Through Tourism. And this will start in about 2 minutes. And if you wanted to be part of this live audience, you can still do this, or you can just stay tuned and watch us. But if you wanted to be part of the live audience, go to worldtourismevents.com or click on the event link on your computer you would see. And then you can sign up for the family meeting for IIPT, and you will get a code. You can simply click on it, and your Zoom meeting will start, and you'll be part of our live audience. If not, no problem. Just stay tuned, and we're going to start in about a minute now. Okay, Lou, anyone else we should let in?
Yes, I think we can start. I see Timothy Marshall is with us. He will be chairing the session, and welcome everyone else that's joined us. Brother Tim, would you like to take over?
We're not in yet, Lou. Hang on. Just 1 second. No, I'm just asking if anyone you want to have in before we start.
Okay. Apolinari would be good to have in.
Sure, let me, I saw him here in a minute. Yeah, he's here. Okay.
And Ibina Howe is a good friend.
So we got in early. It means that we're definitely in the elite. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to start in about 30 seconds.
John Dixon, you can let him in. I'll be introducing him when I speak late in the program.
Okay.
How are you, JT? How are you? How are you, JT?
How are you?
Yes, how are you?
Good, 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 good. Okay, so we're just about 15 seconds away. Again, okay, I can answer after we start.
And you could let in Jovan Popescu.
Yeah, I'm going to let everyone know. Hang on. Okay. So people are.
How are you, JT? How are you? How's Hawaii? Apolinaria.
Yeah, type of Apollinaire. I see you. I'm
How are
fine.
you? How are you? I'm happy to see you, JT. How are you?
Good, 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 good.
Yes.
Okay. So we have everybody in. Let's give it a minute to let people.
Ivy.
Good morning.
How are you? How are you,
Good morning. Bill.
Hi, good morning. Yeah.
Good morning, JT. How are you? It's
No,
raining here.
I heard you. I heard you. and I'm fine. Thank you. Hi. Good, good.
Hello, everyone.
There's Nikki.
Hello, everybody.
Everybody, whoever's joining us in live.
And Thomas, you could let in Philippe Francois.
Bonjour, tout le monde.
It's a long time to get set up because it's people all over the world.
You can still join us live. We're about to start. Yes, I'm going to mute everybody, and then when Louis wants
View.
Okay, let's give it another like 55 seconds. We still have a lot of people coming in. And one more announcement, the same one I made a few times for those that didn't. If you're watching us live on eTurboNews or livestream.travel or any of our other platforms like Hawaii News Online, welcome. You can still be part of this live audience. Simply click on the event button on whatever page you're watching us or WTN, wherever you are, there is a link, it's event. It goes to worldtourismevents.com. And from there, you can just register for the IIPT family meeting. This is where we're in right now, and be part of our live audience. And if not, just stay tuned. We're just about to start in a few seconds here.
Hello, Mohammed.
Okay, so I think we're ready to go.
Greetings, everybody from South Africa.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. So I'm going to mute everybody and we can get going now. Good morning, everybody from Hawaii. My name is Jürgen Steinmetz, and I'm joining you here from a beautiful morning in Honolulu. I'm representing the World Tourism Network. And the World Tourism Network, for those that don't know us yet, you can find a lot of information at WTN.travel. We're a global organization emerged out of the rebuilding.travel discussion we had since March of 2020. And I think this is close to, 150, 160 Zoom sessions we have. And we have several interest groups. One is the Peace to Tourism interest group led by Louis Damour. And Louis Damour is no other than the founder and chairman of the International Institute for Peace to Tourism. And this is, I think, our third or fourth event we have for IIPT. And Lou calls it the family meeting. So we're really privileged to be able to host this. And I wanted to thank Lou and everyone else from the IIPT family. And I think consider myself part of this family. So I'm ready to come together today and talk what is going on in the area of peace. There are so many faces here. So if I start recognizing people, we're going to have another 30 minutes of introduction. So I wanted to welcome all our good friends and readers and members joining us from literally every corner of the world, including in parts of the world where it's like 2 or 3 in the morning, like Australia. So this really shows commitment. One last remark before I give the microphone to Lou. If you're not yet a member of the World Tourism Network, you can actually join us free. Just go to WTN.travel, click on join, and put in as an invitation code IIPT. If you put in IIPT, we won't charge you a membership fee till the end of the year, and you can be a full-fledged member of our initiative and meet a lot more interesting people. And actually, you can be part of the discussion. And this discussion is really getting hot right now because the world, in some parts of the world, is reopening, in other parts it's closing, and we're right on top of it. But without further delay, I wanted to welcome Louis D'Amour. Lou is, as I said, the founder of the International Institute for Peace through Tourism. He's a good friend for many years, and we're very happy to host your event, Louis. I give the microphone to you, and you will introduce your team. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Thomas, and thank you again for hosting us. Yes, I call him Thomas because that's what I originally knew him by. We've been good friends, and Thomas has been a supporter of the Institute since he started eTurboNews, I think in 2000, the year 2000, was it, Thomas?
And actually, we started in 1999, but officially in 2001. We have been publishing eTurboNews every day starting April 1 of 2001, and you're right from the. And for those that you mentioned my name, Thomas, maybe I just interfere. A lot of people get really confused. My name is Jürgen Thomas Steinmetz, so it's not a fake name. But when I moved to the United States back in the early 80s, I had to spell my name literally 100 times a day. How do you spell this? So it took a lot of time, a lot of effort. So I figured out instead of just having to spell my name, I just go by my middle name. And then later on, we're in the US, became quite a bit more sophisticated. So people really understood their different names than Peter and other stuff there. So I kind of tried to change back to my real name, what is Jürgen. So it's not some kind of a conspiracy. These are both my real names, Louis.
Yes, and we knew Thomas or Jürgen from the very beginning when he started in 2001, and he's been a great supporter of IIPT ever since and a good friend of IIPT. So thank you for all of that historically, Thomas, for your ongoing and continuing support. I would like to turn the microphone over to Mr. Timothy Marshall, Chairman of the IIPT Board of Directors, who will be moderating the session.
Oh, Louis.
Brother Tim, are you there?
Yes, please unmute yourself.
Brother Tim, unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to everyone in your respective time zones. On behalf of our founder and director, Mr. Lou D'Amour, our board of directors, and the entire IIPT family, we would like to welcome you to this important global Zoom meeting and to declare this meeting now to be in session. We have over 200 people who've registered and a lot of material to cover. So we would like to ask everyone to please adhere to 3 housekeeping rules. The first is to keep yourselves muted unless it is time for your presentation or if you've been called on. The second is for all presenters to please keep your presentations to 2 to 3 minutes so that we can keep to a tight schedule. The last is to acknowledge that the only recording permitted of this meeting is by our host, No other recording or documentation of this meeting is permitted by the Institute or the host. And we thank you for your adherence to these housekeeping rules. Now, as we begin, we would like to pause and pay honor to the passing of two of our dearest friends, who also happen to be giants on the world stage. Our meeting today is in their honor. Mr. Akel Biltaji, former mayor of Amman, Jordan, and a member of our International Advisory Board, and Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, the founding president of the Republic of Zambia, who has been an honored guest and a featured speaker at our global summits in Zambia, and who joined Mr. Biltaji in dedicating and rededicating our International Peace Park at Victoria Falls, which was subsequently renamed in honor of Dr. Maya Angelou. As we noted during our previous meeting in February of this year, we've all come through a very challenging year and a year and a half in 2020 and 21. The Earth's climate is heating up at a very rapid pace. And yesterday we saw massive flooding in Germany and Belgium. There are increasing divisions and strife within the human family, and racism is on the rise at dangerous levels. COVID's new variants are reaching expanded demographics around the world, especially our youth and young adults. And poverty, health, and economic disparities are deepening on nearly every continent. So it is in this context that we gather here today. In these very challenging times, we're grateful to have the work and the institution of IIPT, which has been serving as a lighthouse, helping to illuminate the path towards global peace and environmental sustainability. As you know, this year marks our 35th anniversary, and we have some exciting plans being developed, which will allow us all to come together in November in Jordan to celebrate the great work of IIPT and to be together as a family. You will hear more about it shortly, but we want to ask each of you to do all you can to be a part of this very special celebration. Now, IIPT has been honored to have affiliations with some of the world's great leaders in tourism and peace, participating in our global summits and conferences, and who have been wonderful friends of the Institute. One such gentleman is with us today, and I might add, on the day of his daughter's wedding. Now, that is true dedication. It is after 8:30 p.m. in Jordan, and he is here with us after what I'm sure has been a long and beautiful day. So I ask you to please join me in giving a tremendous welcome to the chairman of our International Advisory Board, Dr. Taleb Rifai. Dr. Rifai, are you with us, sir?
I think he is kicked out. He may have some technical issues. I don't see him, but I saw him coming in, so maybe he's trying to get back.
Okay, we'll come back. Is Miss Kathy Sudeikis with us?
Kathy is here, yes.
Okay, so we're also honored to have another member of our International Advisory Board, Ms. Kathy Sudeikis, who has been one of the pioneering women at the forefront of the travel and tourism industry and a longtime dear friend of the Institute. Please join me in welcoming her for some remarks. Ms. Sudeikis.
Kathy, please unmute yourself. No, you're still muted. If you can turn your camera back on and unmute yourself, please. Both your camera, there we
Got
go.
them. There. Good good morning from the Los Angeles area. My home is actually in the Midwest, but this is a delightful opportunity to meet with you all again and to continue our mission of peace through tourism. It's never been a more urgent mission. And I'm sorry to hear we've lost a couple of members. And this is very special, Lou. Thank you for including me.
Okay.
Lou, you're muted. And go ahead.
Yes, it's our honor to have you with us again, Kathy. You've been a loyal member of the family for many years, and I know you just enjoyed a reunion with your entire family. So it's great to have you with us.
It's great. And last night we attended the season 2 premiere of Ted Lasso, which is a new TV show kind of sweeping the world about an English soccer team. And our son plays the coach, Ted Lasso. So it was quite a party. I heard I had a wonderful time.
Yes, Kathy's son is Jason Sudeikis.
Ah, fantastic. Fantastic. Well, thank you, Mr. Sudeikis. It's wonderful to see you and to have you with us. Now, IIPT has been extremely fortunate to have a very loyal and dedicated board of directors who work behind the scenes, providing fiduciary guidance and support to our brother Lou and to the Institute. We would like to recognize them at this time, Mr. Mark Lee Wilson, Mr. Donald King, and Mr. Louis Demore. So I ask you to please join me in thanking them for their immeasurable support. Now, as I just mentioned, we're most fortunate to have Mr. Donald King serving on the board and as a global ambassador. Don brought a very significant project concerning Syrian refugees to our board for adoption as an IIPT special initiative. And we could not be more grateful and proud of his excellent leadership on this project. So much so that his proposal laid the foundation for what we thought would be a wonderful 35th anniversary celebration. So please welcome Mr. Donald King, who will share plans for this special occasion. I believe he will be joined by Ms. B. Broda, Lou, and if Dr. Rafai is back with us, to join in that discussion. Brother Don, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Tim. And at the beginning, I would say that we need to give special appreciation to Dr. Rafai, whose collaboration is essential for this effort in our intent of celebrating the 35th anniversary of the International Institute for Peace Through Tourism in a significant way. I'm going to share a screen, I hope. Give me a moment here. It's coming up, just a moment. While this is loading, here it is, I believe. Are you able to see this screen that's loading now?
We only see Donald King. Oh, there we go. We can see it. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. It's taking a moment to load. One of the reasons we chosen Jordan as a partner in this event is that in relation to the Syrian refugees, Jordan has had to endure an inordinate burden to in this regard. Okay, it's coming. It says it's loading. I hope, okay. Hope you can see. Can you see my screen now, the way forward?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'd like, and it, as background to this project, I'd like to cite two disasters. The first, the war in Syria, that began almost 10 years ago. This was an event that caught the world by surprise. It seemed that it was initially only a few peaceful demonstrations, but it soon erupted into a full-scale civil war. And the level of destruction is just unprecedented. This has been cited without reservation as the greatest humanitarian disaster since World War II. The number of displaced people, the number of deaths, the number of personal tragedies has been unprecedented in my lifetime, and I have a fairly long lifetime. So Syrians under this pressure sought every opportunity to escape their country. A number of them went north into Turkey, eventually into Europe, Greece. Many went into Lebanon, and then a number of them as well came to Jordan. These are desperate people with little resource. Many of them walked for many miles in order to cross the border to get to Jordan. When they came to Jordan, a great number of them were interred in refugee camps. This is one of 3 refugee camps administered jointly by the government of Jordan and the United Nations. This is the largest of the 3 that in Jordan. I have been in this refugee camp. I've talked with the commandant, with others who lead it. They're doing an incredible job with the resources that they have. But it is not a place where many people want to stay very long. Life there is constricted, and life there is very sad. And so many, for these who are in the refugee camp, and currently in Jordan alone, there are about 100,000 Syrians who are residing in refugee camps. But that number is a small fraction of the total number of refugees in Jordan. That number is at least 600,000, perhaps 800,000, and some of the estimates are even greater. These are people who are living in pathetic apartments, or in some cases, in a great number of cases, they're living in tents with few resources. And these are the statistics that I cited. Today in Jordan, approximately 100,000 live in refugee camps, and more than 600,000 living in the country elsewhere. One of the places that Syrian refugees went was a village called Azraq, which is out in the eastern desert of Jordan. And some local citizens of that village, Azraq, formed a charity which is registered by the government of Jordan. They call it Al-Awan, which in Arabic means one who helps, a fitting description. The organization, the charity, has 2 emphases. One is education for these children, because for most of these Syrian children, there's little or no opportunity for them to get education. The second is nutrition. I'll talk just a little bit more about that later. This is the classroom in Azraq. It's not as crowded today as it was this day we took this picture, but it's still fairly crowded. These parents are very grateful for the opportunity to get their children an opportunity for an education. And they're bright people, they're gracious people, they're just desperate people. And I mentioned the nutrition. Part of the charity's offering is for these children who come to the school, they get a breakfast every morning. They get some pita bread with soft cheese, they get a box drink, they get a cucumber, and later in the day, an apple or a banana, which is a basis for their nutrition. And they are getting an education, as I mentioned, where a great number, a high percentage of the Syrians who are in the country are not getting this opportunity. Nutrition is a part of that charity's outreach, not only for the kids who come into the school, but taking food parcels to these families, many of whom live miles outside the village. But these are some of the volunteers in this charity gathering food that has been donated by a number of different organizations. It'll be compiled into packets and delivered to these families. And here are a couple of more of the volunteers. One of the nutrition and education are not the only offerings, although those are the two main offerings. One of the things this charity discovered was a lot of these children didn't have shoes. The ones who had shoes didn't have adequate shoes, and so a campaign was mounted where some donations were taken, and the volunteers took boxes of shoes, a pair of shoes for every kid that was in the families that are coming to the school that the charity provides. And these kids were grateful. They were, based on the pictures they sent me, I haven't seen this in person, but the pictures they sent me, these kids were grateful. The first disaster I mentioned was the human disaster, this war in Syria. There's another disaster in this area in Azraq, and that's an ecological disaster. And it's hard to imagine, but there at one time in Azraq, and the word Azraq in Arabic means blue. And the reason it's blue because tens of thousands of acres were covered by this water that you see here in front of you. An incredible oasis in the middle of the desert, just a geographical anomaly. And this is a stopover for billions and billions of migratory birds. And it also served as a resource for all of the community, for the water in the community. But because of population growth and additional farming, more than 90% of the water has been pumped out of this marshland. So it's only down to a small fraction of the land that it existed before. However, an organization called the Royal Society for Conservation of Jordan has begun in this site and other sites reclaiming this water, trying to develop the water, bring it back to the level that it was originally some 3-4 decades previously. And this is the Eco Lodge. It's actually an old British hospital that's been converted into an Eco Lodge. Very nice facility. I've stayed there a number of times. And when our group goes there in November, this will be one of the sites where we will stay. So our theme has been the way forward. So what can IIPT do? And our plan is for the 35th anniversary event to be held in Jordan, and we will hold this event in collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities and also the Royal Society for Conservation of Nature. And our itinerary is, if you can see on the screen, is this: departure from your international destination on November 6th. On November 7th, we'll arrive in Amman at Queen Alia International Airport, transfer to the Dead Sea. We'll stay at the Movenpick on the Dead Sea. On Monday, November 8th, we will have a ceremony which will be the rededication of Bethany Beyond Jordan Peace Park, which was an IIPT event of year 2000, I believe, Lou, our first global peace initiative. And then the next day, we will come up the hill to Amman, where we will have the Royal Society for Conservation of Jordan luncheon at their cafe in the city. And there's hope that we can also have a reception with the Minister of Tourism and Antiquities on that day. On Wednesday, November 10th, we will take the drive. It's about an hour and a half, a little longer, out into the Eastern Desert, where we will visit with the kids at the Azraq Community Center, that's hosted by the charity there, and do some tourism, looking at the wetlands, and also there's a castle there that actually goes back for centuries, and it was where Lawrence in Arabia was a resident during the Arab uprising of a little more than 100 years ago. On Thursday, November the 11th, we will have a peace park, develop a new peace park at the Azraq Wetland Reserve, and we will dedicate the community center as an official International Institute for Peace through Tourism partnership project, and spend another night at Azraq Lodge. Friday, November 12th, we will get a chance to go to Mount Nebo before a late departure back to your home. We're looking at potential extension for Petra, Wadi Rum, and Aqaba, looking at putting that together. Don't have all those details just yet. And I will say all our in-country services will be handled by Near Eastern Tours, who is one of our IIPT global partners, led by Hani Abedaya. They have offices based there in Amman, Jordan. So I can provide a more detailed itinerary the price will, I'm tentatively saying this price is going to be somewhere for all the meals, all the services, all the accommodations for IIPT partners will be around $1,500. I'll have the final details on that in just a day or two. So it's a wonderful opportunity, and let me give you a personal invitation to join us. We have at least three ambitions. First is to recognize the accomplishments of IIPT, particularly the leadership of Lou D'Amour for the past 35 years. Secondly, we want to bring the international travel industry's attention to the humanitarian disaster related to the war in Syria, and how travel to Jordan can be helpful in assisting those affected by this unprecedented disaster. Third, we want to bring the international travel industry's attention to the ecological disaster of the Azraq Wetland Reserve, and likewise how travel to Jordan can be helpful in mitigating this problem. I heard a fable that was told by F. Murray Abraham. Some of you may be familiar. He won Kathy may be familiar with him, as she's has family in the acting business, but he won a Golden Globes. He was famous for his role in Amadeus, but he is Syrian by descent, been in America for a number of years, and he heard this story from his grandfather. He said a sparrow heard the sky was falling, so he went out in the field and lay down on his back and put his feet in the air. The king's horseman came by and asked, "What are you doing, little bird?" "I heard the sky is falling, so I'm going to hold it up." And bemused, the king's horseman said, "Do you really think you can hold up the sky with those skinny legs?" And the sparrow replied, "We do what we can." And that's really, I think, in light of this incredible tragedy with the war in Syria, we just need to do what we can. And we have an opportunity to do something essential here. So please join us in November for this 35th anniversary event. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Lou, for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Don. Sister B, do you want to add anything to this in terms of your thoughts about how we might be able to promote it and document this important time in Jordan?
Well, that is the reason that I'll be attending in Jordan for sure. I've been a travel TV producer for 33 years now, I hate to say, and I've been to almost 15 countries every year, and I've never been to Jordan. So I'm interested from that perspective. But I'm also most interested in the reason I'm a member of IIPT, and I love IIPT, is to encourage people to make notice of these issues and understand them. I'm not saying this right. But anyways, as I look at all of the hellos from all over the world on the chat section, it just makes me so happy to be a part of this organization. And it will be my goal to go and film as much of this story that Donald King related so beautifully and communicate it so that people will understand it more fully rather than it being just a news item that they just don't connect with. So I'll be very pleased to come and film it and create a show of it.
Thank you, B. We're so grateful to you, and we still get comments about your coverage of our dedication of the Peace Park at Victoria Falls. So you are a very precious member of this family. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Lou, yes. Lou, I'd like to ask you to just join us for a moment. If you could give people some background information on the initial dedication of our Peace Park at Bethany Beyond the Jordan. Don referenced it in his comments. So I think it's important for people to have that background. Would you share that with us, please?
Yes, first of all, I would like to thank Don for all of his efforts in putting all of this together. And secondly, express my appreciation to Bea for all she's done over the years in support of peace through tourism, and particularly her commitment to go to Jordan and film highlights of our journey there, and particularly the Peace Park dedication. As a bit of background, we had a global summit in Amman in the year 2000. King Abdullah II was patron. The title sponsor was American Express. Harvey Golub, the chairman of American Express, was also chairman of the World Travel and Tourism Council in that time. And as a result, he had a meeting of the executive committee of the World Travel and Tourism Council to coincide with the event in Amman. So we had very high level participation, and a number of good things came out of it. I might mention Taleb, if you're with us. Taleb was Minister of Communication at the time, and Brother Tim, you gave recognition to Akel Biltaji. Akel was the Minister of Tourism and became a keen supporter of IIPT ever since that time. We had him as a keynote speaker at our annual World Travel and Tourism, our annual events in London. And also he was a keynote speaker in most of our events since that time. And I might also mention that when we did dedicate the IIPT Peace Park in Victoria Falls, His Excellency Akel came to the event with 6 olive trees from Bethany Beyond the Jordan. And the first of these was planted by Kenneth Kaunda, who you mentioned, and Dr. Taleb Rafai. That dedication was the featured event of the 20th UNWTO General Assembly on opening day. So that's a little bit of background with regards to the summit. And as a legacy of the summit, we dedicated the Peace Park in Bethany Beyond the Jordan precisely on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, first year of the new millennium, the precise anniversary of the end of World War I, the war to end all wars. Hopefully, we will see that in our lifetime, the end of all wars.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lou. And thank you, Don, for that excellent presentation. And as Lou said, for all of the wonderful work that you've done in preparing for these dedications. And again, B, we're very, very excited. And well, IPT family, I hope all of you are as excited as we are. And we request that you please set aside the time to come to Jordan in November, and you will be receiving additional details in the near future. But we believe that this is a very, very important way for us to celebrate our 35th anniversary, to go back to the very place where we had our first global summit and dedicated such an important peace park. So please keep those dates in mind. Now, it's time for us to hear updates from members of the IIPT family who are doing great work on the ground in countries around this globe. Our first presenter is none other than IIPT's Executive Vice President, who also serves as President of IIPT India. He's a remarkable man who's led some of the Institute's truly important work on the global stage. So I ask you to please join me in welcoming our own Mr. Ajay Prakash. Ajay? There
Yeah,
you
okay, yeah, I need to unmute. So, thank you, Brother Tim. Lovely to see you again. Lovely to see Lou and the family. And great to be back with everybody after this break since February. Before I say anything else, I'd just like to extend our love and our sympathies to our friends in South Africa who are going through a particularly troubled time right now. I don't know whether Mama Machachi has been able to join us. She's the president of our newly created Southern Africa chapter. I just spoke to one of our colleagues there, Bunny Bula, who some of you might know. Her travel agency was vandalized. Luckily, nobody was hurt, but things are grim, and we just hope and pray that they improve and they all come out of it well. What we had talked about last time, what IIPT India had got involved with was a community farming project, which is where I also have a small property. And so my colleague Kiran Yadav, who's the vice president of IIPT India, and I, we started talking to the people around. And out of those 270 acres that are more or less contiguous, there are people who own approximately 100 acres who've joined in already. We have ordered 10,000 trees, which the monsoon is on right now. It's just begun. So we've dug the pits and done all the preparation. And we're ready to start planting those saplings very soon. They're primarily fruit trees, but also a lot of flowering native trees, so that they attract the birds and generally increase the biodiversity of the area. So that's an ongoing project. We were also in talk with the local administration, where Kiran incidentally has been very active. He has been running a program on the human skills upgradation. It's the human skills upgradation program for the entire administration of that area, where we have school teachers, where we have policemen, where we have municipal workers, where we also have a lot of students who are joining in. And today's program, he does this every Friday. And today's program was about agro-tourism. And the crux of what the gentleman who was invited as our guest speaker had to say was, first do the agro part, then you can look at the tourism. Don't use this as a label. So yes, I mean, 27 programs have been done one every week. And Kiran's doing a phenomenal job of building bridges with the administration, with the local villagers. And we're working on things like raising the water table over there. So there's a lot of little things going on, and hopefully in a year's time, we should have something exciting to report. Apart from that, we've also got some sponsorships, and we've got 5 oxygen concentrators, which we are donating to the local administration and the hospital there, which is part of our little, as Don said in the parable that he quoted, well, we do what we can. So yeah, these are the few small things that we're doing. We did not manage to do our Celebrating Her program live at ITB Berlin, which we've been doing for the last 5 years. We did that virtually this year. And depending on how the situation goes, hopefully we would be able to do this again. This is a program, some of you might know of it, where we identify between 3 and 5 women, outstanding women in the fields of travel, tourism, hospitality. And we confer upon them the Celebrating Her Awards. The idea being that in spite of the fact that more than 60% of the workforce in tourism is women, there's a very, very small percentage, barely 20%, that are in managerial positions. And those women that have achieved a significant amount of success and have also, apart from being successful businessmen, businesswomen rather, the idea is that they should also be an inspiration to other younger women and motivate them to excel. So this is one of the key things that IIPT India has been doing for the last 5 years. And we hope that we will be back again at ITB Berlin next year in person. Apart from that, all I can say is that knowing Lou and knowing IIPT and being part of this family has been a most exciting and a rewarding journey. And we hope to realize Lou's dream of creating peace parks across the world as soon as is possible. The aim was to have 2,000 of them by the end of this year, but COVID's put a big spoke in so many plans. So all we can say is, fingers crossed, God above, and we're willing to work. So thank you everybody for being here, and let's continue this journey with Lou as our lovely guiding light. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Oh,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Our next presenter is truly an institution within the institution of IIPT. Her contributions are legendary, and she is the one and only Ms. Diana McIntyre Pike, President, IIPT Caribbean, and coordinator of our International Community Tourism Network. Please give her a warm welcome. Diana. Are you with us, Diana? Okay. Well, we're gonna keep moving, and hopefully she'll be with us.
Timothy, just for housekeeping, if you click on participants on your screen, I made you a co-host. You can actually see who's in the room on the right side. You can also search.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Our next presenter is truly a much admired and respected leader within the IIPT family. She has done extraordinary work, not only as president of IIPT Australia, but has provided invaluable leadership globally. So I ask you to please join me in welcoming Ms. Gail Parsonage. Gail.
Thank you, Tim. Hello to everybody from Sydney. You are enjoying the northern summer, and we are in the middle of winter, and it's also 4 a.m. in the morning. So an update of our last meeting. I had a 3-point plan that I presented earlier in the year. Number 1 was the ongoing collaboration between the University of Technology Sydney, and as part of their curriculum, they have incorporated a piece essay in collaboration with us, and it's a part of their overall, contributes to their overall marking. And for the 3rd year, we had a winner, and it was presented and highlighted in our newsletter. So I'm very happy to mark that off as one of our achievements. The second goal was that here in Australia, this year, 2021, is our 20th anniversary of our chapter in Australia. So we had it earmarked on the 21st of September this year which is also the United Nations World Day of Peace, that we would be having the appropriate celebratory event. One of our guests of honour was going to be the ambassador for Turkey here in Australia. However, Sydney in particular is undergoing a Delta wave of COVID, and we are in a complete lockdown. So with only 8 weeks away, it was prudent that we had to cancel that event, which is very, very sad. However, I've rescheduled it for 21 September 2022. Same venue, which is at the University of Sydney. And we will have a 21st birthday party instead of a 20th. So it's still on the agenda, but it's been postponed for 1 year. Now, the third most important part, which is part A, part B, is I have been collaborating with a lady called Sevil Oran Konachi, who is from Turkey. And we have been working to get a chapter up and running in Turkey. It is well in progress, but it's not there yet, but it is close to being announced. So that's definitely a work in progress, and we hope to have that sooner than later, certainly this year. Part of that project is the Peace Parks. That has been a vision of combining olive roots within Turkey. And there's an area in the Izmir Peninsula, which is on the western side of Anatolia, which is the Asian part of Turkey. And that area, quite a large geographical area, purports to have a great history of the olive tree, the olive groves, and the story of the olive. In the Izmir Peninsula, they have a 531-kilometre olive route, which spans a number of areas. And we will be starting along that route to have strategic peace parks to follow the route of the olive route. The first one is going to be the Kosatam Olive Oil Museum near the town of Ula, which is in the peninsula, on the Izmir Peninsula. That is well in Tran, and it is earmarked to be on the 21st of September this year, which is again the United Nations World Day of Peace. So unfortunately, Seville and I were hoping to be there, but that's not going to happen because we're not allowed to even leave Australia at this point. We don't let anybody in and we don't let anybody out. However, but that is still hopeful, and we will hopefully have some form of IIPT representation. So anybody who is on or near Turkey and is available to go, we would be very grateful, and we will give you all the details. So that's number one. Number two is that there is a second site called Klozmina, which is also on the route. It's an antiquity site also for the olives. It hosts a 6,000-year-old press and is also going to be the second earmarked Peace Park on the route. And the third one is another place called Karaburun, which is also part of the route. So they're three definites, but one will be, we have an actual date. Now, the other part, which is a really big project, and it is something that we didn't think would happen, but I will acknowledge that Seville has been working very hard with her connections. And the area of Gallipoli, on the Gallipoli Peninsula, which of course is well known to most people for World War I in particular, to the British and the Australian and New Zealand forces in Turkey. It was a very large theatre of war. It's been very controlled by, rightly so, by the government and the national parks there. But we actually seem to have a window and an opportunity to have a peace park, an IIPT peace park in and on the Gallipoli Peninsula. That's huge. I have to say it will be huge. But that one is a work in progress, a lot of wheels behind the scene, but we've got our fingers crossed. So 2 big things. Number 1, the chapter. Number 2, the Cossitam Olive Oil Museum Peace Park, 21 September. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Gail. You've been busy, Mike.
Yes.
That's a pretty
and a different time, and I give it all to Seville, and it's a different time frame and a different language, but we're getting there.
Oh my Lord. So we're so glad we have you there, Gail. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Our next presenter is the distinguished gentleman who's really done an outstanding job as president of the IIPT Indian Ocean chapter. So I ask you to please join me in welcoming Mr. Maga Ramasamy. Maga.
Brother Tim, I think there was a note from Maga saying he may not be able to join us. He's having difficulties logging on to the internet.
Oh, I thought I saw his name as having signed in.
Maga, are you there?
I don't think he's here.
Okay.
Brother Tim, can I also ask to remind everyone that we'd ask them to keep their presentations to 2 to 3 minutes so we could finish on time. Thanks very much.
Okay. Well, our dear friend, Ms. Diana McIntyre Pike is now with us. So I will introduce her as our next presenter. Is truly an institution within the institution of IIPT. Her contributions are legendary, and she is the one and only Ms. Diana McIntyre Pike, president of IIPT Caribbean and coordinator of our International Community Tourism Network. Please join me in giving Diana a warm welcome. Diana, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry I just joined, but I've had internet problems, but I'm glad I'm here. The Lord worked it out, and it's great to be with the family. I am one of the heritage family members from being the first chapter out of North America. I'm proud of that. Lou knows that. We're a chapter that recognizes the importance of what IIPT is all about, and our country-style community tourism network, Villages and Businesses, works in association with the IIPT Caribbean, with the community tourism. And what I'm proud to tell you is that the diaspora, the Caribbean diaspora, has joined us, and we have come up with the brand with them called Community Economic Tourism in support of our program for villages to be developed. And the Manchester Peace Coalition has a very important role to play in being a role model for the Peace Through Tourism program. We have identified 18 at-risk communities in the Manchester area, and it has been wonderful to see how well it has been recognized. We have given complimentary partner membership to the leaders of those communities, and they're members now of the IIPT Caribbean, and we are going to implement the IIPT Peace Villages program with those 18 at-risk communities. The good news too is that we have established partnership with the UWI, that's the University of West Indies Open Campus, with community tourism entrepreneurship training. We have just completed 5-day workshop, and it was very successful. The participants were excited, especially when they knew they had to do homework of my community and I to research our community and what they had there. And we will be sharing that with the IPT because we're going to do a special Zoom meeting with them making their presentation. They will get certification from the university together with us. And finally, we have the Community Tourism Trust Fund that we are putting together, but we've just changed the name just 1 hour ago to Come Fund. Come Fund is now the new name because it was difficult to have it registered in the United States with the trust. And I will update you on that. It's a wonderful fund because what it is doing is going to provide investment opportunities for people to invest their money. And we have people waiting for this. And the interest from that will be given to communities that need grant funding and also low interest funding, like 2-3%. And so all of that is coming under the IPT Caribbean. And we're very excited that community tourism has now become a major part of our rebuilding process for tourism. And we'd like to thank the World Tourism Network for bigging us up like this with the Heroes Award. Because from I got the Heroes Award, oh my God, more people are respecting us. They're very excited. So thank you, Jürgen, for your support, and Lou for your support too for the awards that we've had in the past. All the best. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. That's a great, great, great report. Really wonderful. Okay, our next presenter is a young man who's made phenomenal contributions to the Institute in so many ways since joining us. So I ask you to please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mr. Fabio Carbone, IIPT Ambassador at Large and President, IIPT Iran. Fabio.
Hello. It's an honor to me really be part of this family, like someone else was saying before, and I see there Lou, and just can I ask you to introduce the work later? I'm having some problem here. Can I?
I couldn't hear what you said, Fabio. What did you say?
Can I talk after the next speaker?
Okay.
Please.
Okay. All right. We'll come back to you. All right. Our next presenter has assumed a very important leadership role within the family as president of the IIPT Southern Africa chapter, and is already doing a phenomenal job. So I ask you to please join me in giving a very warm welcome to President Ramawela.
Well, good evening to everyone. With your time zone, some is good morning, some it's good evening like myself. So yes, good evening from South Africa. And I want to start by thanking Ajay. I am here, Ajay, representing the family down here. We are freezing. We're sitting at 51 degrees Fahrenheit tonight, where I am. And I want to start the update, but just updating the family and the situation down here in South Africa. Just to quickly say that our situation of unrest that has pretty much occupied the media, both here at home and international, from last week, pretty much from Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, much of the weekend. Just to assure everybody to say the situation has come under control. And to also indicate that, as the media has been reporting, there were two major provinces that were affected, which was the province of KwaZulu-Natal and the province of Gauteng, which is where I am, which is the economic hub of South Africa. And within those provinces, it was the major metro areas of the city of Durban and the city of Pietermaritzburg, where my colleague Banibula is situated. And there's just been other small disturbances in different areas, but the target was mainly around the shopping malls. And so where I am, which is a city which is 20 kilometers from Johannesburg, which is the commercial business capital in South Africa, which is the city of Pretoria, which is the seat of government, we did not have any of the unrest that has happened. So it's been in specific areas, even in the Johannesburg area, it's not everywhere. So what am I saying to you? I'm saying to you, thank you very much for all the support for the global family and the concern. As you know, it always when we have challenges like this, it is not the entire area which is covered. So when you see it blown up in the media, it gives a sense of absolute chaos for the entire country. So many parts of South Africa have not been affected by the situation. And so to the extent to which you hear people talking about food shortages, it's simply because the distribution network, the logistics, the trucks that have been moving goods around have been affected because some of the major routes have been affected as well. But the major routes have been opened. The trucks are on the road. The railways are on the road to urgently make all the refills in the major centers. So this is where we are as South Africa, and we want to say thank you very much to everybody for the support as we battle through the challenges that a lot of people who know the story of South Africa will know the kind of challenges this country is facing. So we look to your prayers, look to your support to be able to assist us. But we also want to say with the Delta variant, that has been a major challenge for us. To also report to say vaccination has increased drastically. We are now vaccinating the age groups of 35 to 49 years old in the country, so it's going very well. So yes, we are on this road, and we will keep you updated so that you don't get too alarmed about what's happening on the media. But also to say the biggest challenge for us is that tourism, pretty much in the whole of Southern Africa, is really ground to a halt, and it's a major concern. And we are back as South Africa on level 4. Which is a lockdown where there's not much traffic from a tourism point of view is taking place in the country, as major airlines are not able to fly in or fly out. So we're really in a very bad space from a COVID-19 point of view as a destination. And we're really working very hard with government to ensure that we allow travel. Because we need to stick to our 3 minutes tops in terms of talking, let me quickly catch up, update the family on the work that we've been doing down here. Our biggest challenge, as Louis will know and Ajay, is that a lot of the people that are involved in the chapter in our part of the world are people that are working in their own spaces. So we don't have dedicated attention to the work of the IPT. So we all do the work on a private spaces. And so, but with the blessings that the Almighty can only give people who are trying to good work, we have been able to get a student to join us as of April, a volunteer student who's joined our IPT Southern Africa, who is the dedicated hand in our office to be able to help us to move a lot of things around. So it is welcome to Mike Sibanda. I've asked him to join. I think he's somewhere in the audience listening up, because I said he needs to join in, be able to meet the global family and learn from all the giants that are doing the sterling work of promoting peace through tourism across the world. So the most important focus for us today, family, we want to update you that we've finally come to the point where we are ready to introduce our chapter to the rest of the world, to our colleagues in the region. And I was listening to a colleague from Australia mentioning the date of the 21st of September for their function, the event that they had to postpone. And so we happen to be having the same date on the 21st of September is the date we have put forward to formally launch our chapter, the Southern African chapter. And as we had reported in February, why we chose to do the launch later is that we wanted, by the time we launch, we have a lot of the basics in place. So I'm happy to say to you, in the next month, we should be able to launch our website, which we have populated, is looking very good. We have our marketing and our social media plans in place, so that when we go to launch, we launch the website, we launch our chapter, we then are able to have people join us with the information which they know they can easily access through our website. So we're busy as well raising funding, because we know that a lot of the work we need to do requires some funding. So we're looking to some partners in the private sector to be able to assist us. So that's where a lot of the behind the scenes work is coming in. We have approached Jürgen to see if he can come into partnership with us to help us with the launch on the 21st of September, which is going to be a hybrid event. We're going to have 50 people on site at one of the most important sites in the history of South Africa, the Constitutional Hill. It's a venue where the ATA conference took place in 2018. And this is where the highest court of the land, the Constitutional Court in South Africa, is sitting in this building. but it's also for the historical reasons of the Nelson Mandela trial and the incarcerations. That building is one of the national heritage sites for South Africa. So this is where we're planning to have our launch of our hybrid launch of our chapter on the 21st of September. So we have some of the people. I thought I will grab this opportunity to ask some people in the global family that we have targeted to invite you to come and be part of our launch. And the time permitting, in terms of time zones, Ms. Diana Pike, we have singled you out to join us. A formal invitation will come through to you. Hopefully you can join us from the Caribbean. Of course, the IIPT Southern Africa or any chapter whatsoever will not be able to take off without our founding father. And so Louis, you are on our list of to be a speaker in our launch function. And there's other members across the region and that we have put forward as well. And I also want to report that we have joined forces with our first chapter, sub-chapter in Zambia. We connected with our colleagues in Zambia, Richard Salunuka. He joins us in our regular meetings. We did a presentation 2 weeks ago where we presented our intention, our objectives, and everything that has to do with the chapter. And it was a wonderful meeting that we're going to work together going forward to promote the work of the chapter. And so what our focus going towards September is about raising the funding to be able to launch the chapter. And of course, we are focusing on the Peace Parks initiative to support Louis' plan. And as you know, us in South Africa and in Southern Africa, we have a lot of grand peace parks, large ones that we are going to be collaborating with them. But we are looking at the different metros, the different towns and cities within South Africa and Southern Africa, where we can contribute to your global campaign, Louis. And so you know that we will not be starting from zero. There's a lot of these structures that are in place. Ours is to really make the connection. And this is where our young man who's in the office, Mike, is putting a lot of work in there. So please put your wings, your wind behind our sails as we work very hard to make sure that the chapter takes off, especially now that there's a lot of trouble. There's troubles in the air in our region with tourism that has gone to hold, the socioeconomic challenges that we're facing now part of the world, and the unrest that we are seeing in South Africa. But we know with the Almighty and the support of the global family, we will address our challenges and we will emerge victorious, as South Africans have demonstrated. And I will tell you, I'll end of my presentation with a very heartwarming story to say, with the aftermath of the unrest that has taken place in our country, we saw communities as early as Monday coming out and doing the cleanup operations. There is no city, no metro worker that has come into the centers to do the cleanup of the messes or the aftermath of the mess that has taken place. Local communities come in and actually do the cleanup themselves. And so it is very pleasing, and they're working, they've been feeding and giving coffee and teas to the army that have been standing guard to some of the centers because it's freezing. We have a lot of snow in the mountains at this part of in South Africa. And so with that message, Louis and everybody, the global family of IIPT, we appreciate this partnership. We appreciate you bring us together to be able to learn from our colleagues from other parts of the world. But we appreciate the camaraderie and the friendship to support us as we build this chapter of ours in this part of the world. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, dear sister. We are so grateful to have you in the leadership position there. And we are here for you. Anything we can do to be of support, because what you're doing is so important. As I understand it, our brother Fabio is back with us and ready to present.
Yes, thank you very much, Timothy. Apologies for earlier. Well, I was saying that this is always a great pleasure to be here with Lou, the chief of the tribe here, and with you all, Jürgen, Super Diana, Gail, a lot of people that really make me feel now like a real family, because these gatherings are being great, useful, and a big success. I was taking a look here at the chat in participants from Pakistan, Nepal, UK, Serbia, Maldives, Kenya, Trinidad and Tobago, Ethiopia, Venezuela. I mean, what an evening to me and for the others. Is other time in the day. Well, thank you very much. Can I, Timothy, may I ask you to give me the permission to share the power?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
perfect.
you can share. Go ahead.
Not yet.
Okay, try it again, please.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Okay, so some updates since our last meeting from the activities I'm developing as a IPT ambassador at large, but also the academic activities, and then finally the activities as a special envoy in Iran. So, well, as the work of developed as ambassador of the APT is being quite dynamic. I continue to work to share and promote the message of the IPT. Here some examples. Okay, so for example, here this first annual conference of Places of Peace. Was extremely interesting. The idea is to create a network and routes related to.
Can't hear you too well, Fabio. Speak up, please.
Yeah, I was saying this first annual conference about Places of Peace, which is promoting a European network of routes related to places where they signed during the history treaties of peace, for example. Then the conference, international conference on cultural diversity and tourism for community development, where I also talk about the work developed with the IPT, and where there was the support of the United Nations World Tourism Organization. In Lisbon, here there are just some examples. The intense work developed to promote our message, and this is since the last meeting we had. So it's not the annual report. This is just a couple of months. So promotion together.
Everyone, please mute yourself if you're not speaking. Please mute yourself if you're not speaking.
Okay, I was saying the promotion of several meeting online, thanks also to the big support of Reza, another important member of the APT, and the person I work with him almost every day, and then the presence and the collaboration with activities around the world. Here is in Italy, the association Ioresto, in this case, was specifically related to support the people of Palestine, when some weeks ago there were some specific issues in Israel, and etc. So here in the Festival of Diplomacy 2021 in Rome, once again, I was invited there as a keynote speaker, exactly to talk about this bridge, this association between peace and tourism. The second point, as I said, the academic commitment to study and promote the International Institute for Peace to Tourism. The academic work related to the history of the APT is finished, is being edited in this moment. I talked about this in our last meeting, and now it's finished in collaboration with Roma Tre, University Roma Tre in Italy, and the work was already presented in that international conference about cultural diversity and tourism. Now the updates about Iran, the activities developed in Iran. Well, first things to say, Iran is going through a very particular moment. Not that the recent years were easy, but in this particular moment, there are many issues there in the country, from the COVID to the problem of the geopolitical problems, and many other that are affecting the population. This make my work a bit more difficult, even in terms of connection with the people in Iran, because there are many shortage of electricity, internet, etc. Nevertheless, it's always a pleasure to work with this country. This country that has, first of all, keep having the first problem in relation to the promotion of tourism as a vehicle of peace. One of the big problems still is the stereotypes related to Iran, and this is one of the main point on which I work with them, promoting the real aspect, or better, there is the tendency to talk about a singular story, a single story about this country, when there are so many beautiful and different stories related to Iran, to the people of Iran in particular. Which kind of work developed? Once again, work of sensibilization through webinars, so online, but also my presence on the ground here it was a few days ago with one of our partners in Iran, that is the National Museum of the Islamic Revolution and Holy Defense, which is, for the people that were not here in our last meeting, is a museum dedicated to particularly to the war Iran-Iraq. And it's quite curious and interesting, even from the academic point of view, from the intellectual point of view, to understand and see how a museum dedicated to a war is so active in promoting our message as IPT. But they were one of the among the first partners. Here I'm in the end of our last meeting. They have a radio through which they talk about the IPT Iran, to the IPT in general, and recently, also because of the engagement of the country in the war against the ISIS, they have firsthand a lot of material. Well, this is just an example of the museum at the moment. Here is the shotgun of.
Thank you.
The museum is established now, a part that is dedicated exclusively to the ISIS, to the history of the race and war against this, and they are counting on us to work. This is part of part of this material arrived from Syria. Part of this material arrived from Iraq. Here, and they have in first hand, because they were involved, and they are involved in this country in the fights against ISIS. This is a school book for the elementary school for the kids. So they are doing this amazing job, and they're really they're counting on us to collaborate, to see how much we can work together in the workshop they have on regularly basis related to the promotion of culture of peace. And this, I take this picture because it was quite interesting. This was in Syria. This is a post related to the let's say the Ministry of Education of ISIS. So for me as an academic was interesting to this this aspect. And new partnership with other institutions around the country. Here is fun. All this to arrive at the end, and the last update about the Festival of Peace, as I mentioned in the last meeting, that now has a new name, a bridge representing the higher purpose of tourism, also to celebrate what Lou D'Amore said in the beginning of the adventure of the IPT. So we are going to have this. We were supposed to have this on this week, this kind of festival dedicated to tourism and peace on this bridge in Tehran. This bridge, at the moment, actually, when I was there, they closed this because there is a new wave of COVID. So the idea is to recreate this environment through a portal online. So there will be activities then for the entire weeks, seminar, meetings, workshop, music and art. There are some artists that already gave us the availability for this week. And the initiative is starting to spread in the country. Here, for example, is not Tehran, but is a bridge, historical bridge in Esfahan, where they're going to work also on in that week with us. Thank you very much. These were the updates. I'm here to answer to any question. As always, really is a big pleasure to be with you. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Fabio. Excellent presentation. I have been asked to reiterate some of our ground rules, everyone. Number one, everyone, please mute yourselves unless you're speaking. Number two, because we still have a number of speakers and because the time is running tight, we're asking everyone to please try to keep your presentations to 2 to 3 minutes, because we know that all of you are doing exceptional work and we need to figure out some kind of way to do a full day Zoom meeting so that we can do much more in-depth presentations from everyone. So thank you. Our next presenter has also assumed an important new leadership role within the IIPT family. He is the president of our exciting new IIPT Maldives chapter. So I ask you to please join me in welcoming Mr. Mohammed Raid.
Thank you so much for giving MITDC the opportunity. I will very much stick to the rule of 2 to 3 minutes. Please allow me to share my screen. I will just give a few slides of presentation.
Okay.
Go ahead. You should be able to draw to share your screen.
Just thank you so much. We are in the process of promoting peace tourism and also sustainable tourism through several activities. And one of the activities that is scheduled for this is yacht rally that is scheduled to be held in February 2022. This will be the very first international yacht rally that will be held in the Maldives, and also 2022 is the celebration of tourism, 50th year tourism, or the Golden Jubilee tourism in the Maldives. So this yacht rally is open to the international yachts, and also we will be showcasing these 7 segments. It will be sailing open for all participants globally and joining across the local islands. We will be going to 15 local islands and showcasing the lives and people and how they are doing, what is our culture, and how our roots are being started. So this will be an annual event depending on how success it is, and it will be beginning on the February 2022. It will be running up to 30 days, approximately 30 days. This will be the first event that will be introducing community-based tourism. And thank you, Ms. Diana, for us giving us so much of guidance on community-based tourism. We are very thankful for her as well. And this will be one event that will be promoting Maldivian culture, heritage, and the very rich history we have through peace tourism. And we will be showcasing how peaceful the Maldives is, and by visiting these islands. The 3 main segments that we will be considering is the local tourism, heritage tourism, and the rural tourism, because these 3 major segments are very important for us to introduce this type of tourism. So thank you so much for please promote this event, and we would like as much as yachts and sailboats to join this event hand in hand and promote IIPT, WT, and through this event we will maximize promoting IIPT and WTN through this event. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that excellent presentation. You got a lot in fast. So thank you so much. And we're so happy to have you with us in this family.
Mohammed, may I thank you as well. It was an excellent presentation, and thank you for sticking to the time limits.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Our next presenter is what we're going to call one of the babies of the family, having established the youngest of all chapters around the globe. So I ask you to please join me in welcoming Mr. Jovan Popescu, President, IIPT Serbia.
Thank you very much. Hello to all of you. I'm really proud to announce that there is a IIPT Serbia as a result of our long cooperation with IIPT, especially with Louis Damora. For me, it's 27 years, and I'm really proud that participation at conferences and so on. What are our next activities? Our activities, we are just use this time from the establishment of IIPT Serbia to finish all the necessary preconditions for normal work. And on July 1st, we had the first meeting, let's say, of IIPT Serbia at the premises of Serbian National Tourism Organization with the representatives from the Ministry of Tourism, Trade, Telecommunication, Association and Hotel Catering Industry, Association of Tour Agencies and tour operators, academic communities, journalists, and there are 2 activities that are now important for us. First is preparation for proclamation of peace parks in Serbia. We will try to do it, of course, following the procedure of IIPT in the consulting process with IIPT, but we will try to proclaim this peace park where the local community will have a benefit from this proclamation. And the second, for let's say immediate work for us, is student essays, peace prize for essays dedicated to peace and tourism. We will include universities from Serbia, and we will try to do that also to try to include the universities we know very well these universities, for example, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, maybe from Northern Macedonia. So we have not only ideas, we will do that, and we are now doing to fulfill all of that. So thank you for accepting us as a chapter of IIPT, and we hope that we will be a proud member of IIPT. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We are truly delighted that you are a part of this family, and we look forward to working with you over the months and years ahead. Our next presenter is tying for Baby of the Family designation, having been named our newest ambassador at large. So I ask you to please join me in welcoming Mr. Philippe Francois.
Bonjour from France. Hello to everyone, especially hello to Lou, to Jürgen, to Timothy, and all some of the people like Fabio, Rowan, and so on that I personally know. So I'm very happy and proud to be again with the family, and especially tonight. And thank you for those so inspiring experiences that we shared tonight. So as some of you know, that I spent my 50-year experience in hospitality and tourism destination management and consultancy services with 25 years more and more focused on ecological solutions and human solutions for the tourism development. This is how I spent some years creating and running hospitality schools, hotel schools, or business colleges, even program in universities in the world. And nowadays, I'm the president of AMFOD, which is the only body recognized by United Nations organization as far as education and training in hospitality and tourism education is concerned. So we are now gathering more than 700 members from more than 77, maybe 78 countries all over the world. And from those this experience with IIPT and some discussion and consideration with some of you, and especially with Lou, that I would like to invite you to a project which is not IIPT chapter. It would be kind of a transverse chapter, but global, is to consider that youth is the future of tourism, and perhaps we should promote peace through tourism from youth, the younger generation, and from the teachers of this youth. So from our programs, academic programs in hotel schools and hospitality and tourism universities all over the world. So this is quite new as far as AMFOD is concerned, and perhaps this could be a project that I would like to share with you. I know that 2 or 3 of you already agreed on this project, and I'm welcoming everyone who is willing to work with us. It's kind of, perhaps first a think tank, perhaps a working group. It will be just a few hours, just in order to consider together what are the real arguments for your youth to join us with the values of peace for tourism. Because you and me, we believe that there can't be any tourism without peace. And tourism can build the peace. So we have got to teach this to our younger generation. So I'm going to put my my name and details on the screen. And thank you to join me. We need, just a few people, and just perhaps 2 or 3 times an hour work, just in order to consider what are the real arguments for the students in universities and hotel schools all over the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Francois. We agree with you wholeheartedly, and we're with you. Thank you so much, sir. Our next presenter is a young man who single-handedly transformed our website and developed the new brand of peace tourism for the Institute. We're enormously grateful for his hard work and sacrifices. So I ask you to please give me a warm welcome to Mr. Reza Soltani. IPT Director of Marketing. Reza.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Tim. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Lou, and all the friends here, especially Bea, who has done a great job. We have organized many webinars, Women in Tourism, and definitely we're going to continue that. Also, Diana, she's doing a great, and my great friend, Fabio, and all the others, of course. Thank you very much. I'm going to make it very short. I've been working on the, I'm going to share my screen, if I may, on the peace tours to, can I share my screen? Yes. Okay. So the first one is the peace tours in Hiroshima. We have been working on creating applications that there have been some kind of the peace tours, but not like the way that it should be. And actually, with the help of IIPT, definitely is going to be more meaningful. That's very important. It's not enough just you're going to some disaster places. By the way, I am now in Ukraine, the country of the Chernobyl, but I'm going to talk about that later on. So the Hiroshima is not just enough that the tourists are going to Hiroshima, just think that the park and some disasters area. It should be more than that. People should, that's very important that people think what they are seeing, and they think when they after their trip to that place, to that country, to the disaster area, or the refugee camps and so on. That's very important thing. And that's what we have been working on. The applications that I've been working on it actually are quite sometimes, but is a quite big app. It can connect people when they are traveling to choose a subject which is related to the peace tour of tourism and the conflict resolutions, meeting locals to discuss the certain issues about the conflict resolutions, stereotyping, understanding each other. And in Hiroshima, hopefully after the COVID is going to be working, so people can visit on the places, but they can also meet the local people and they can explain them the things that happened or the stories that they get from their parents and the grandparents. So that was the Hiroshima. So it's going to be a Connect for Peace project, something like that. The second one is the North Korea. I've been working on those tours, and it looks that it's going to be okay when the borders open. Also here was very important, not just going to the certain areas, but trying in somehow to connect with people as far as is possible, of course, and not talking about the politics or, as you know, the North Korea situation, but just trying to understand each other as a friend, just as a friend, and that's it. And to not have the certain imagination of monster from each other. That's, I think, very important things. From the side of the North Korean and from the sides of the not the North Korean. So once the tours can start and people can talk about those issues and the stereotyping, the hate that exists between North Korea and the rest of the world. And then is the Chernobyl peace tours that it has been also established with the Association of the Chernobyl Tour. They are going to be our partner, and so everybody traveling to Chernobyl disaster area is going to receive also IIPT Credo, and it's going to be a small section of the IIPT talking about the importance of peace. So here again, it's not just like you are going to the Chernobyl and seeing the things. It's going to make you think. That's very important things. Also, we're going to include some talking or connection with the locals who has experienced this or have been affected, and including our partners who work there, have been working there on the radioactive zones and the problems about that. So it will make the travelers think really what can those wars, conflict, nuclear disasters, nuclear bombs, the consequences for the humanity. And it will make sure that they will never forget that. The other one I've been working on it is the Auschwitz. Also Auschwitz, of course, everybody knows it, everybody goes there, but it's important also that to make the people understand the importance of the peace. And here also I've been talking to the responsibles there, and it looks very positive. Next month I'm traveling there as well to finalize all the agreements, and we're going to have also peace tours in Chernobyl. Of course, there are many tours there, but again, they are not the real peace tours. And that's important that, we can add that to it. And so I'm going to make it short. So we will use technology to, just to summarize technology, the application and the websites to connect people locally for the conflict resolutions, fighting stereotyping, hate, and so on. Those will be first experimented and used in Hiroshima once the borders open. Thank you very much, and that's it.
Thank you, Reza. That's some powerful work you're doing, and we really appreciate your sharing it with us. Okay. Our next presenter is a gentleman who Lou and I have known for several decades. He is here as a cherished member of the IIPT family and will share with us some highlights of the awesome work he's doing in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So I ask you to join me in welcoming Mr. Linwood Sloan.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all. What an inspiring conversation this is. You have given me food for thought, nourishment for my spirit, and fuel and hope to go forward. We are the humble ground up project of IIPT. Harrisburg is simultaneously the city, the county capital, and the capital of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Our program started in 2017 with the launching of naming a 4-mile long, 1 block wide riverfront park as the Harrisburg Peace Promenade, and restoring monuments of war and peace along the 4 miles in a self-guided walk. It is on the Susquehanna River, and so our theme has been peace like a river. And we launched both the walking tour and a river cruise where you could view the monuments from the river. I heard Lou and Tim speak so eloquently about the planting of 12 peace trees. And so our second project was to establish an exemplars grove along the 4-mile riverfront, taking a desolate part of the riverfront park that had been forgotten and abandoned, and taking the old dying oak and maple trees out and creating an exemplars grove and naming 12 exemplars of peace in Harrisburg, in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Some long gone, some retired, some still working, and some young people. Also, the first acknowledgement to Muslim community members, to African American community members, and to women in the peace movement. And that peace grove has grown, and we have just completed the peace grove this year by planting and placing benches and creating a habitat for hummingbirds and butterflies along the river. So it is fully a reflective place along the riverfront. There are 12 communities, from a highly gentrified community to a totally impoverished community, which connect to the river. Each of them perceive of the river as the common ground and owned by all. And so the Peace Grove and the Peace Garden have been really important. We then moved to the notion of war and peace and looking at the constant war or battle over the right of the franchise. And so we created the first African-American monument on the state capital of Pennsylvania and the first monument to the passage of the 15th Amendment in the United States, which gave African-American men the right to vote, and the 19th Amendment, which extended that right to vote to women. The monument, which is called a gathering at the crossroads, was dedicated in 2020, and we were able to have Lou and Tim come through part of our dedication. And as a result of completing that monument, the Toni Morrison Society, the poet and peace Pulitzer Prize winning Toni Morrison Society, has created a global network of heritage sites. There are 30 across the globe. We were just inducted as the 30th global peace site. Toni Morrison said when she accepted her Pulitzer Prize that she had all the awards she wanted to win in her life. All she needed now was a bench by the road to sit and contemplate on peace. And so the society establishes at these sites Toni Morrison bench by the roads. We were inducted into the Toni Morrison Global Network, along with a bench in Haiti, a bench in France, and a bench at the Tulsa race riots in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So it was quite an honor for us. And it completed the site as not only a monument site, but as a tourism and cultural heritage destination. We are now officially a global peace destination. Our work is not done. We are now working, we have worked with the city to purchase a mansion that is next door to the public library. And one of the money, the monument is made up of 4 statues of abolitionist peace promoters and suffragist women. One is Thomas Morris Chester, who is known across the globe for his writings for peace in the 19th and 20th century. And along with our 6-county library system, we will be launching the Thomas Morris Chester Research Center for Global Peace. It is 4 blocks from the monument, and so we have just achieved the passage of our city council of renaming the avenue that connects the monument to the library as the T. Morris Chester Way. And so now you will be able to walk from the monument down Walnut Street at Harrisburg to the river to the Thomas Morris Chester Research Center. And we've established a kind of boarded up section of our city into a peace destination. It will be a self-guided walking tour, and we will create markers of peace along the 4 blocks that connects the monument to the research center, and the research center through the international library exchange with other repositories, and archives where you can study peace. So we've been pretty excited about our work. We are, everyone loves acronyms for their organizations. So our acronym is, we are an FLA. It stands for Fairly Loose Alliance. It is 40 individuals and 40 organizations and 200 individuals who have dedicated to a 10-year plan. And our next plan is to write a curriculum called Making Monuments that can be taught as an interdisciplinary and STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics curriculum in public schools, not only about how to honor people through monuments and memorials, but what does it take to place those monuments there, and how do you shape the public space and create animating democracies and civic dialogues. So we've got our 40 organizations and 200 individuals committed to a 10-year plan. We are in year 4 of our 10-year plan. We're excited to be a part of the family and a part of the network, and always amazed at how far and wide Lou D'Amour and Timothy Marshall's spirit extends across the globe. Thank you very much.
That was awesome, Brother Linwood. We are so glad to have you as part of this family. And for all of the decades we've known you, you have been doing exceptional work, raising people's consciousness and bringing people together. And so we're really excited to hear about these new developments, especially the Toni Morrison designation. So congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.
Before I call on our next speaker, I just wanted to acknowledge that our board member, Mr. Markley Wilson, joined us earlier, and I just wanted to note his presence with us. Now, our next presenter is another cherished member of the IPT family who's been a true innovator and leader in her field, as well as a very dear friend to Lou. So I ask you to please join me in giving a warm welcome to Miss Nikki Rose.
Greetings, everyone.
Hi.
How are you doing? I'm
What?
here in Crete, Greece.
Wow.
It's good to see you all and hear all the news about your important projects. It's so inspiring. So, news from our fields. We're finally reopening our School Without Walls. Closed for 2 years, all of our university study tours. But we are organizing our open programs as we usually try to do if we have time. So we have in September and October this year, our short-term programs that are focused on biodiversity and gastronomy. The new buzzword, is just food. But many interesting attendees, teachers that have always wanted to join us are coming, which is really exciting for all of us. From sustainable tourism in England, food studies in Philadelphia, indigenous food systems, professor from Alaska, heirloom seed savers, people, culinary arts, of course, and then just many people who are interested in our culture and cuisine. So we're really excited to reopen our school because a lot of people are, waiting on us to earn the much needed supplemental income that our study tours and educational programs bring to our communities here in Crete. And also the young organic farmers and archaeologists and agroecologists that we work with here. There's a lot of knowledge to share, and then also a great exchange of information from the attendees. So we all learn a lot. So we're also in production of our documentary, hopefully to finish that in December. We couldn't film too much, but we tried to edit what we have and piece things together. We just filmed heirloom seed savers planting. Now we have to go back and check out what's growing and share that information with the world. So our documentary is basically a virtual experience here in Crete, where we talk about the wonderful things and then also the challenges that we face here with climate change and all the other issues that are global problems. We also have a fiscal sponsor now, Alcina Studios, which supports Impact Films, which is really important for us because we have big plans that this documentary creates a bigger outreach of covering, all these issues that we, face around the world. So I'll be speaking at the Organic World Congress, which has been postponed for a year, so it's really exciting. In the Organic World Congress, my presentation will be community-based responsible travel, links with organic farmers, if you didn't guess, and initiatives here in Crete. Also during the World Organic Congress, I'm involved in a workshop with other seed savers, seed ambassadors workshop, building an international network to advance organic seed systems. And so if we're understanding, how the food system is broken over the last 2 years, there's a lot of collaboration. We're involved with a lot of people now, which is really interesting. So our documentary, as well as our, field work here and our study tours will enhance that outreach, and that's what we're going to do. So we're building another website just to highlight the other people that are working in this field and collaborate in other ways, which we really hadn't done before, like with Agroecology Europe, IFOAM, International Organic Farmers Movements, Local Futures, Farmers Footprint, all these organizations that have cropped up or just came to the limelight when people understood that our food system really needs improvement now for future generations. So yeah, we're really excited to open our seminars, which it's like a whirlwind of 5 days of history, culture, archaeology, seed saving, music, organic farming, of course, Cretan diet, nutrition, Mediterranean diet, of course, and cultural immersion. People don't stay in hotels when they come here. We're over the last 22 years, they stay in our villages in traditional lodging that's very well, how would you say, renovated. And we're going to hopefully have a good time. So that's the update from Crete. And all the best to everyone on your important work, and hope to see you all in person one day soon.
Outstanding.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rose. That's a wonderful, wonderful report. And we're hoping that one of these days we can have a global conference right there with you in Crete. All right.
Oh, it would be great, Timothy. You're welcome anytime.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our last speaker was the first person on the planet to capture the concept and phrase of peace through tourism. If we could stand to give him a rousing ovation, we would. But since we can't, please unmute yourselves now, and let's let our next speaker know how much we love him. Brothers and sisters, Mr. Luis Diamore.
أهلا نحبك يا سيد موريس موندي. We love you. We love you too. Man.
We love you. We love you.
Our love goes to you from Saudi Arabia.
Thank you very much, Brother Tim. Thank you very much, everyone. And thank you all for all our presenters who did such a fantastic job. I would like to go back, and thank you for staying on beyond our intended program of 1.5 hours. It's very good of all of you to hang in there. I'd like to go back to Linwood Sloan and congratulate Linwood for his excellent presentation and the inspiration he's been with regards to other persons, with regards to dedicating a peace park. The IIPT Peace Promenade, 4 miles long, along the Susquehanna River, together with the peace monuments that have resulted in the last year. These are global models. This is a global model for our peace through tourism and our Peace Parks project. So Linwood, I want to thank you for all of that and all you've done. You've really been a catalytic agent all your life, and particularly with this initiative in Harrisburg.
Lou, speak up a little bit, please.
Was I?
That's better.
Did everyone hear me?
Yeah, that's better now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
yes,
hope everyone heard what I had to say earlier.
We did.
Yes, I did. I heard.
Okay. I'd like to, at this point, introduce John Dixon, who is a senior advisor to the president of the Global Peace Foundation and a co-chairman with me with regards to a conference in Seoul that was to be held in August in person, but now with COVID will be an international Zoom conference on the role of tourism, culture, and sport in contributing to a free and united Korea. John, if you're there, would you kindly come on?
Yeah, thank you, Lou. This has been a very inspiring, rich and dense day with so much information and fantastic initiatives. I'm very inspired. I was introduced to tourism when I started a World Trade Center in Okinawa in the 90s. At that time, I read about Lou D'Amour in an international magazine and finally tracked him down about 4 years ago. And I'd been working on North-South Korea issues for a long time. So I asked Lou if he could help me put together a working group to study that as tourism is one area there's been engagement over the years. Others are mostly theoretical, that denuclearization and human rights and things. So, and very challenging issues. And then also, the Olympics, there's been so many combined sports teams. So Lou insisted right away that we include sport, not just tourism, but tourism, culture, and sport in the title of this working group. And there are people from North or South Korea, also escapees from North Korea, and also, of course, the United States, Russia, China, Japan, Mongolia, Nepal, Malaysia, many countries that have still a robust relationship with North Korea as well as South Korea. So it's been fascinating, and Lou's input and guidance and the work that you all have been doing is really the thrust of what we're hoping to implement toward bringing the North and South Korea back together. As you know, it's one. Everybody has the same, there's only a few last names shared between both sides, and it's really a strong family culture and 5,000-year heritage. So it makes no sense to still be divided, but this is perhaps the last strong vestige of the colonial experience and as well as the Cold War framework. So we're hoping we can solve that. This working group came up with 3 proposals. One was to make an athletic complex in the DMZ that would be perhaps managed by the UN, which administers the southern part of the DMZ. And this could be, secure both sides, and then the athletes be free to go there, and then spectators when possible. and also we would include with that a culture center or performing arts center, so we could the K-pop bands could go and perform from both sides. And then another one was we realized there's actually a real issue. There's 30,000 North Koreans who escaped to South Korea living in Seoul. And there's a lot of challenges just of social cohesion because the separation has been a long time. So we've initiated a soccer initiative or football for most of you between the South Koreans and the formerly North Korean citizens, and that should inform the social challenges of the integration of the peninsula. And then, of course, we're proposing an International Peace Park as an IIPT Peace Park that would be linked to that athletic complex. It might, whether in the DMZ or in the Kaesong Special Industrial Zone. We're studying the legal frameworks for that, and you know, it's just been thrilling. Lou is bringing the 35 years of experience with all of you and the remarkable initiatives you've made to bear in this effort. And we will present at the Global Peace Convention in, well, it should be in Seoul, but it'll be a hybrid event on August the 10th at 8:30 p.m. in the United States. And that's 9:30 a.m. in Korea. You're all welcome to participate. And again, very honored to be here and be part of this. And Tim, good to see you again. Maybe we can get together at the UN as things reopen here and see what we can do. But thank you, everyone. I really very humbled and inspired by all the great, remarkable work here. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother.
Thank you very much, John. I might add that working with us on that sports complex has been Steve DeVos, an IIPT partner with his Global Sports Partnership company. And Steve has been in North Korea on 3 occasions organizing peace events. So he's had tremendous experience. And as I think about it, and as we just heard from Nikki Rose all about cuisine, we might add a chef's peace table to that cultural dimension and organize a chef's peace table between North and South Korean chefs.
Also, Philippe Francois made a wonderful, helpful presentation to the working group also. Appreciate that.
Exactly, yes. Thank you very much, John, and thank you, Brother Tim, for your excellent job of moderating. I'll turn it back to you.
Well, thank you, Brother Lou, and thank you, Brother John. This has truly been rich. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've covered a lot of ground during this important global meeting. And as Lou said, we're grateful for all of you who have hung in here with us. We had a lot of material to cover and some wonderful people to hear from. And I know it's truly heartening for us to hear about the transformative work being done across the globe. And at a time when the world is hungry for peace, it's good for us to celebrate and remember that we have dedicated over 400 peace parks on 6 of the 7 continents around the world, spreading the message of peace and making a tangible contribution towards environmental sustainability. And that is no small thing. So while there is much work to do on this planet, we've much to be proud of and grateful for. So let us leave this gathering with new inspiration and a heightened commitment to the cause of peace tourism. And let us begin to make preparations to be together for the first time in a long time to see each other and reconnect in Jordan. And as we do come together, we will participate in the important dedication of the Azraq Community Center and the rededication of our Global Peace Park at Bethany beyond the Jordan, which, as we understand it, is the baptismal side of where John the Baptist baptized Jesus. And we want to thank our brother Don King for his important leadership on this initiative. But most importantly, we will celebrate 35 years of the tremendous work of IPT under the extraordinary leadership of Lou D'Amour. So this is going to be a very special anniversary. So until then, or our next meeting, we want to thank you all so much for your time and your valuable participation. And with all hearts and minds being on one accord, this meeting is officially adjourned. God bless you.
And thank you. Just thank you, everyone, from my end also. And if you have missed part of this meeting, it will repeat on eTurboNews starting in about 2-3 hours, back to back for the next day or so. So you can see it again. And after this, it's going to be archived on livestream.travel, or you can go to wtn.travel and go into the archive and you can listen to it again. And also from my end, thank you very much, everyone, for attending. And we hope to see you again soon. And everyone stay healthy and let tourism prosper. And aloha from Hawaii.
Ciao Lou, from Mario, Italia.
It's for tourism.
Thank you, everyone.
Farewell, everybody. Thank you.
Ciao Lou, ciao.
Thank you, bye, thank you.
Ciao.
Au revoir de la France.
Good night from our side.
Thank you very much, everyone. God bless.
Good
Thank
day,
you.
everybody.
Au revoir. Thank you.
Thank
Merci.
you, everyone.
Bye. 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 Bye.
Shukran.
Thank you.